Hey everyone, one of my favorite movies is Nacho Libre. It's kind of a silly movie with a lot of silly characters, and one of the characters says kind of a silly thing, and it's supposed to be understood as silly. It's supposed to be just ridiculous. And he says, I only believe in science. There are some people who say that the only way to get to truth is by science. There's other people who say the only way to get to truth is faith, and they say that that's mutually opposed. But that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. The truth of it is that they're not opposed. If people who say that they're opposed, then if I provide one example of somebody who comes to the fullness of truth using both, well, then they're not opposed because I just gave you a counterexample that totally disproves it. I got a handful of examples. Think about Louis Pasteur. What about your milk? Do you drink pasteurized milk? You probably do. It's because he created a process that made pasteurized milk possible. And he was a great disciple of Jesus. He was a devout Catholic. Or think about Copernicus. He's the guy who questioned that maybe all the universe is not revolving around the earth. Maybe our solar system is going around the sun instead. That's the Copernican revolution. And guess what? Nicholas Copernicus, yeah, he studied theology, and the historians think that he could have been a priest. Like, this is how it goes. This is nuts. Another example. Who did discover genetics? Well, he was a monk. His name is Gregor Mendel. We learn about him in our high school science classes. This is how it goes. He came up with genetics by just observing all these pea plants and all these experiments that he did in his monastery where he was pursuing deep intimacy with the Lord Jesus Christ. My final example, kind of an interesting example, is the guy who came up with the theory of the Big Bang Theory. It's a theory. I don't know if it happened or not. Maybe God used that to create the world. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But this guy was a friend of Einstein, Albert Einstein, and his name, or they called him Father Lemaitre. He was a priest. He was a Catholic priest like me, except way smarter. I'm not a scientist. He was a scientist. I'm a person of faith. He was also a person of faith. This is how it goes. God created the universe just like he wanted it, and he created it to be knowable. You are able to apply the scientific method and discover truth that is found in the reasoned and ordered way that reality exists. You can study the rocks in Stigler and find out that the sandstone has a special mineral that allows you to quarry it and to make good flagstone out of. The doctors here at the Poto hospital here, you know what? Guess what? They're smart. They have learned biology, and God made the human body to be knowable and to be fixable in many ways. This is amazing. God is so wise to create order in the reality so that observing it, we can come to knowledge of the truth. This is like two wings. Faith is one wing and science is another wing. And if we use both of those wings, we can fly forward into the contemplation of the fullness of truth. The fullness of truth. So don't be a person with one wing. Don't be a person with another wing. Recognize where truth is and fly forward and discover the fullness of truth. Peace be with y'all. God bless. And I'll talk to you next time. If you got any questions, please click here below and we can start a little dialogue. Adios.